Jon Toogood is back with us. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are
Lovely
you?
to catch up with you. And the breaking news for me is you've moved back to the country.
I have.
So welcome back.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be back.
Because
actually.
Melbourne, I've always semi-envied you in that whole Melbourne experience because Melbourne's such a cool place to live.
Melbourne's like living in a European city in the southern hemisphere. It's beautiful.
And what brought you back full time?
So basically, I was in New Zealand last August touring when we went into lockdown, and I got stuck here away from my wife and kids for 2.5 months. Air New Zealand wasn't flying. I couldn't even explain to my wife when I was going to come back, and Melbourne was in lockdown, so she couldn't get babysitters or any friends to help her out with the 2 kids. So she went mad, I went mad, and so I said to her, if we get a chance to get an MIQ spot, we're going to move back to New Zealand.
And you did.
And we did. We got really lucky.
Out of 10 so far, 10 it's the greatest thing you did, 1 it's a bust.
I think it's an 8. It's beautiful. We're really happy. The kids are happy. We had an amazing summer, but everything's 30% more expensive.
That is the truth.
Than living in
That is the truth, isn't it? Now listen, I'm reading that you have written more number 1 hits. Are you aware of this? More number 1 hits here than anyone.
Yeah,
ever.
More number 1 albums.
Number 1 albums.
Yeah. So basically, we were sitting on 5 equal with Hayley Westenra for about 7 years.
Yes.
And that irked me. So I made sure the next one was really good.
Do you know, with all due respect to Hayley Westenra?
Oh, no, she's lovely.
No,
I'm
she
sure.
is lovely. She's a delightful. Is it important to you? Are the stats important is what I want to know.
I actually just find it fascinating that a band that formed as a heavy metal covers band in Wellington High School as a bunch of 17-year-olds or 16-year-olds has actually done that, because that wasn't what we set out to do.
No.
But we're here 33 years later, and we still get on, and we're still making music that we find inspiring, and we do it for our living. So it's incredible.
You're still angry?
I definitely get angry about certain things, but that sort of it's changed in a lot of ways, especially after having children. I think I'm just worried about the world that they inherit. So I still there's things that we as a society do. I think we could do better, but I've come to think that it's the only way you can really change is person to person. That's the way me and my wife sort of set out. We just make sure we're good with the neighbours and good with the people around us.
Do people invite you around to say, because you can sing and got a guitar, do they say, "Oh, get Jon round? He'll get a couple of songs going"?
Well, that'd be like working in the weekend for me. So no, I don't do that. But yeah, I'll pull out a guitar if I'm comfortable enough. But mainly it's just come around for dinner. Or something.
I love it. Where are the adults at?
The adults, I've parked that for a bit because for the first time in my life, I'm actually in the middle of writing a solo record. I've managed to make all these Shihad albums and then 2 adults records, but I've never made a solo record. So it's time. And
how do you know that? Because and the reason I ask that question is people seem to me, because the history of bands is that there's some sort of collaborative shambles at some point for many, and then they go off and do their own thing.
Yep.
And so you've set up bands. So you seem to me to be a band person.
Yes, that's how I started, but I've always been the main songwriter in Shihad. I was always the sort of producer and songwriter in the adults, but I always felt uncomfortable with releasing an album under the name Jon Toogood, to tell you the truth, because it sounds ridiculous to me. So, but apparently it's not that ridiculous. So,
no, well, because it's your name. It's your name. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Now, your problem's going to be on the second album when it says more Jon Toogood. Yeah. Jon Toogood again.
No, the second album's called Better. Yeah.
So you start out, you think, right, I'm going to do a solo. Where is that at?
Okay, so basically we've moved into a place in Howick, and it's got a granny flat downstairs, and I've turned it into a studio. Luckily, my wife's let me done that, and I've just been writing. Last year was a tough year. It was a tough year for everybody. My mum passed away in the middle of last year. I was in lockdown in Melbourne. She was in Wellington, so I had to watch that on an iPhone that my sister was holding.
I haven't met a person who's gone through it. You hear the stories.
Oh, it was... I still can't get my head around
surprised.
it. It's pretty traumatic, So, and the fact that you're not there holding her hand, and you would have thought you were going to be.
It's not right.
It's not right. So so I'm basically, it's not going to be a depressing record, but I need a big warm hug of music at the moment. So a lot of it's just based around acoustic guitar and voice, which is what I do in my solo shows anyway.
Is it flowing?
It's flowing very quickly and very fast, and it's just music that soothes my soul, basically.
Good on you. That's Are you at a place in your career now, although the fact you don't like your name and putting your name on an album, are you at a place in your career where you've done enough and the reputation precedes you enough to, you'll know it's good and it'll work well anyway, or are you freaking out?
No, I'm not freaking out at all. The process has always been for me. It's a selfish act to make music. I was actually talking to Dave Dobbin about this when I had a bit of a writer's block in the middle of the last Adults record, where it was like, because we just had kids, and it was like all of a sudden the priority became the children. And for the first time in my life, I actually didn't have any desire to finish songs. I just wanted to be with my children. And I said to him, how do you do it? And he said, you've got to be selfish, close the door, lock it, and make sure no one comes in, and just make music, because it's what you do. And I took his advice, and it works really well. But you do it, you structure it in the day,
sure,
so that it doesn't mess with the family.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, what are you? Now, you're also doing this road thing, aren't you? With you by yourself, you and your Martin, and telling some stories and singing some songs.
Yes, and I've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years, and it's actually, the show's become it's getting better and better. Basically, when I first started, I was pretty nervous because I've always had a band behind me and big light show and lots of volume, but you have to make the magic happen with just a bit of wood with 6 strings on it in your voice. And that took I was into it straight away, but now it's starting to really take off.
Fantastic.
And I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy the contrast between, in Shihad, we're usually playing to a few thousand people, and I'm basically a master of ceremonies telling people to move their bodies, where this is like, I'm in a room with 150 other humans around my age, and I'm literally talking to them person to person and actually acknowledging them.
That's
and
nice.
Being present. So it's a different way of performing. Yeah.
You enjoying that too?
I love it.
Good on you. What are you going to play after the break for us?
I'm going to play a song from the last Shihad record called Field of Fire, which I actually wrote right at the end of the writing process. I actually wrote it for my solo stuff, but it ended up, I cheekily played it to the Shihad producer, and he went, there's no way you're not putting that on the Shihad record.
And there it was. More from Jon Toogood in just a couple of moments. 8:17, we're with Jon Toogood this morning. The song is
Field of Fire.
Hit Me with it.
Okay. Oh, I used to talk for ages about changing everything, but then life got complicated and we lost that certainty. Lying awake, 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 trying to find a way away. When you're waiting for the thrill to return, and the world, it leaves you so damn tired, and lying awake, writing letters to yourself, trying to find some way to feel the fire. Oh, I used to sing for hours about the mess the world was in, but then life got complicated and we lost that certainty. Lying awake, 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 trying to find a way away. When you're waiting for the thrill to return, and the world, it leaves you so damn tired, and lying awake, writing letters to yourself, trying to find some way to feel the fire. I'm feeling empty, like I'm hollowed out, and all this damage that I'm writing down, I spend my whole life breathing in, now I'm breathing out, out. When you're waiting for the thrill to return, and the world, it leaves you so damn tired, lying awake, writing letters to yourself, trying to find some way to feel the fire. When you're waiting for the thrill to return, and the world, it leaves you so damn tired, lying awake, writing letters to yourself, trying to find some way to feel the fire, trying to find some way to feel the fire.
Bloody hell. This hour of the morning, superb. Absolutely superb.
Cheers,
well
mate.
done.
Cheers.
Just two quick questions. Is Shihad ever coming back on the road? Because there was the tour, wasn't there? It got postponed.
It did. It got postponed, then it got cancelled. Yes, we are. But I'm already writing for the next record. It's been a weird time to be in a band. It's like I'm so used to saying I'm going to be here, but then it moving.
Who would
you
know?
know? So yeah. It's been a really tough time for being an artist, basically.
Exactly. So, well, good luck when that gets announced, and good luck with this tour. And
pleasure.
Good to see you as always.
Awesome. Great to see you, Mike.
The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.